Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to Practical Parenting, the free online webinar or talks that we host as the Parent Collective. My name is Rafi Inocencio. I am a psychologist and I am one of the different parent experts that run the Parenting Collective. Okay, so today we're very lucky to have as our guests today two moms who we kind of feel embody that golden combination of being able to combine work and raising a family and be able to juggle that really well. And so we'll hear from them in a bit and how they are able to do this, and maybe we can get some tips out of them so how we can apply that into our own daily lives as parents. No, so today we have Christina Young and Steph Tan. So we'll hear from them in a bit. Okay, say hi, Christina and Steph.
Hello.
Hello, hi, good afternoon. So we'll start by
Hello.
letting you guys talk a bit about yourselves, what you guys do for a living, or what you guys do outside of that, and a little bit about your family, like what kind of family do you manage there at home. So, Christina, you want to start?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Christina. I'm part of Parenting Tribe. It's a online resource for parents on Instagram. I'm also a full-time fourth grade homeroom teacher at Beacon. I am also a Bar 3 instructor. I've been doing that for 7 years, teaching in Beacon for 10 years. I have two kids. One is five-year-old boy, Mateo, and a 18-month-old little girl, Eliana. So two kids, my husband and me, and that describes who I am as a mom and a profession.
Right. Thanks for that. How about you, Steph?
Okay, hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm a mother of three, so I have full spectrum. I have a 13-year-old teenager, a 9-year-old who is a very precocious middle child, and a 2-year-old who is a very energetic little bundle of joy and terror
Okay.
sometimes.
Right.
In terms of profession, I'm working as a regional finance manager for Johnson and Johnson here in Singapore.
Mhm.
On the side, and I have their permission to do this, is I run my own photography business, which is Steph Tan Photography, and that's
Right.
been going on for about 10 years now as well. So,
Right.
um,
Time
yeah,
flies.
that's
Right.
it.
So thank you so much for coming on this week. So I guess we'll jump in right away. No, so parang as working moms, it's hard enough to like do the do the professional side of your work. I mean, like both of you juggle like not only like your day jobs but like different professional hats. So how do you manage to have both a career and raising the family? What are like important things that you guys have there, or that you guys have in your lives so that you can balance that career and family thing?
Steph, go first.
Okay, all
I'm gonna pass the microphone.
right.
I'll follow after. Go
Um,
for it. Take
I think
turns.
okay, juggling family and work. Um, I was mulling this as well. It's like sometimes I feel women go on and think, oh, I have to juggle everything myself. And I think the really important thing to remember is that it's not just your job. So you have to learn how to partner with your partner. He's there and he needs to be able to kind of you need to have conversations with him on how the weight of life and work needs to be distributed so that both of you can thrive, right? And then as well as the kids. So once they
Mhm.
hit a certain age, we have to be able to partner with them. Like my kids as early as 6, I start engaging them in household decisions. I'm going, are we going to spend money on the school bus or are we going to save that up for something? So to
Yeah.
make them feel like part of the household and then make them feel like they own the home as a space as well, and that I feel inculcates a sense of responsibility in them, and then that helps me balance
Mhm.
because then I know that
Yeah.
it's not just my job to manage everything. So I think
Right.
that's
Right.
the key one. It's really partnering. And then I employ a lot of organizing tools like Google Calendar lists, pre-planning. Basically, I'm a planner by nature, and that's part of the job that I do at work as well. So basically, what are the things that give me a headache? Like, oh, menu. Like every time my household help, my
Me
lifesaver,
too.
what's the dinner? And it's like, every single day I have to rack my head. So then if you just spend one weekend making a table for the week and go, these are the options, put it in the refrigerator, and then that becomes a
Right.
problem that just goes away. So there's a bit of like,
Oh,
you
okay.
have to have a sense of understanding of what are your pain points, what frustrates you, and do they actually have to frustrate you that much? You have to spend energy on them, or you can just do it in one weekend and solve it for life. Of course, you're gonna get bored of the menu, then you spend another weekend to refresh it. So I'm just giving
Right. Right.
an example.
Right.
So yeah, I think I'll leave it at that and give the floor to Christina.
Okay.
No, I totally agree. Even taking it further from just your partner, for me, balance is all about support systems. There is no way in the world that I can do this by myself. And that's one of the reasons when this whole COVID happened, the first decision we made as a family was to move back to my parents, because as a full, we were starting virtual learning. We were going to have, my son was in school already, so he was going to have his virtual classroom while I was still going to be teaching virtually. And our Yaya had to leave and had to go home with her kids. It was a decision my husband and I made. Do we stay home and probably kill each other because we're going to be at it nonstop, or just rely on the fact that we have support groups that are here to help us? And so
Right.
knowing that you have parents, grandparents, your siblings, and reaching out for their strengths and helping them help you, it just makes life so much easier. And it's that thing, as Filipinos or as people, we know that we can rely on each other. And when we rely on each other, there's that always constant thing. When they need your help, I help them. But when they need my help, when I'm on a Zoom call and I'm in the middle of class, they know
Right.
they can take the kids and, they'll be busy doing whatever they're doing. And then after they can come back. But that's what you need. You need a support system that you can rely on, that can, get you through it all, regardless of the situation.
Right.
I also agree with organization and kind of balancing out. You have to decide as a family what's important. What are the non-negotiables? These are the non-negotiables, and as a family, you talk about that. Even with the grandparents, you talk about that, and those are the things you stick by. And then there are things that you slide and kind of say, okay, it's okay, the issue is just finding what is important for your family and being open and just flexible.
Right.
This whole
Right.
COVID experience taught me to be just take a breath, take a pause.
Right.
And it's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be the cleanest project or whatever it is, but it's life. And if we're open and you're okay with it, and it's okay being with messy, a little dirt here and there,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like what I'm getting from both of you is like it's about leaning into first of all figuring out what support systems are available, and then the second one is deciding as a family, communicating with your partner and leaning into the support systems that work for you, and really trying to iron out all of those things. So it's planning. So it's not something that it's magic. You snap your fingers and then
No.
boom, they've got the parang
I
kasi from
wish.
looking right, diba? From looking from the outside, seeing these, oh, parang they have their thing together, they have it all figured out, but it takes a lot of planning and back end work, and really leaning into those support systems. So at
I
this
think
point,
Yeah.
everyone that's Steph.
Sorry, if I may emphasize a couple of things, and Christina touched on this as well. It's the clarity of what's truly important, because when you're juggling so many balls, so many things will be knocking your way, and then you just have to every day, every week, every year, you just have to go. What are the 5 things or 3 things, and let me just crystallize my life towards that, and then everything else is extra. It's gravy. I'm not gonna stress about it, but these are the 3 things
Right.
that absolutely must go right. And then so
Right.
that's one. You have to be clear about that, and you have to have very honest conversations with yourself and your partner about that. And then the second bit is, once you're clear about your why, you then have to learn how to set boundaries. So part of it is kind of my conversation at work, to go, I only have this window to have dinner with my kids. and it's tradition for us to all have dinner together as much as possible. I don't want to miss that. So on exception basis, I'm willing to miss it. Just to be clear, exception. But
Right.
by 5:30, I am out. And if you need me, I'm back again at this time if needed.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
those kind of honest conversations with your manager as well, and
Right.
your teammates to go, these are the things that are important to me, and I don't feel like a whole person unless these things are done, or I don't feel like I'm succeeding in life unless those things are
Right.
done.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's
So
that
let me
idea
take
of
this.
saying no sometimes, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
You sometimes you want to be like, yes, I got it, but then that's when you get overwhelmed, and that's when the
No.
balance kind of tips over.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
you have to be honest and accept that it's okay to say no, and they'll just have to respect that, because again, as if it's not in that top list, or if it's not what's so important, it's not what matters at this point in my life, you'll have to let go of certain things, and that's just the way it
Right.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. So, parang at this point, I want to say hi to all those who are watching us. If you have any questions or anything that you'd like to bring up, please put them in the comment section so we'll see them here, and then we'll have some time for that later on. So, parang Christina touched a little bit kanina about all these changes, and parang COVID happened. No one really saw it coming. I mean, I was talking to someone in my clinic a while ago, and it's like we were just waiting for January to finish, and look, now it's June. What happened to half the year? So there were a lot of changes. In your situation, Christina touched on it a little bit, but maybe for you, Steph, what things changed because of this whole COVID? You were in Singapore, so it's a little different
Yeah.
from our situation here. But what changed in your? How did you deal with that change?
Yeah. I think first thing, what changed? So in my role, thankfully, I've been leveraging work from home even before COVID. So work from home is almost a norm for me. But
Yeah.
back then, before COVID, when I worked from home, it was quiet when the kids were in school. So I could actually get stuff done. And post-COVID world is everyone is they have home-based learning. So when school was open, they would have Zoom calls or they would have online learning. There's schedules to maintain, and teachers are sending you timetables and whatnot. And I was 3, right? So it's
Right.
and then
I feel you.
and then my partner also has to work from home because non-essential services have to work from home as much as possible. So the space in the house just gets very tight.
Right.
So I think that the tension points there is space. Because how to focus on what you need to do. So it was really figuring out, okay, we have a set time to do what we need to do in the day. My day might be a bit more extended. My partner's day might be a bit more extended. If the kids need space, then this is theirs, but then they need to keep away from us for a bit. And that's really where kind of I really appreciate having a helper because our house go mad, right? You'd be planning, cooking, washing, cleaning, and then every single thing would stress you out. So so part of it is just determining how to give each other not just the physical space, but also the emotional space to go, okay, kind of claustrophobic right now. She hasn't gone out. Okay, take turns, stepping out of the house because we're still allowed to run in the parks. So go, okay, spend some energy outside, come back and out. Or if I need to do my yoga, I think I've pretty much learned to tune them out. So I just do it anywhere. And then they just climb all over me while I'm doing it. So, but yeah, that's one. And then the other bit was really schooling. So now there's an added expectation on parents to go, okay, these are your kids' curriculum. Teachers are passing you what the lessons are going to be about. And then it's not like the kids will automatically learn just because they're looking at a video online, right? They will go and, mommy, what's this? What does this? What does that mean? And it's really kind of learning to empower them as well to go, okay, you know what? We're at a digital age. I'm not going to regulate everything that you do. You know what's expected of you. Here are the tools you can use to achieve it. At the end of the day, you update me where you are and what tension points are, like what challenges you encountered. And let's see how we can make it better tomorrow. So part of it is accepting that some days they might not meet what's expected of them, because it's just challenging and it's new. And
Mm.
anyone who's thrown into a new environment will struggle. So just working through that journey with the kids as well. And then the other bit is because I'm a bit of a tiger mom, so I'm the sort who will list out 20 things the kids must achieve during the school holidays. I've had to let go of some of that as well, in terms of the mindset shift on, does learning only really happen when there's a teacher, or do the kids actually learn on their own when they just explore what they're curious about and they're given the tools to learn it? So yeah, so those are the two things for me.
Okay. So,
I could
go ahead,
No, I
Christina.
could piggyback on that, just because. So I've come in the role where it's two-faced, right? Because I'm a teacher, and so I'm here doing the fourth grade classroom virtual learning, and then I'm as a mom, I have Mateo's pre-K classes going on, and to be honest, it was a learning experience. And the first thing we needed to do was to allow ourselves to make mistakes, even as a mom and as a teacher. There was lots of things that we needed to figure out, a little bit we didn't know how long it's going to be. We didn't realize that we didn't know that we were not going to see the kids anymore, say goodbye to them, and have all those physical contact. So it was a huge change in that essence. And I think I can hit it in two ways. One, as a teacher, I definitely agree with that. It's hard because in the school, you have that, you're in that space, you're learning together. If you have a question, you just shoot that question. And then you're thrown into the virtual learning where it's a few classes here and there, but a lot of the work is given. And then there's that expectation. And what I found for my students was that what worked was when parents had a system. You didn't need to be on top, like you didn't need to sit with them throughout the day to make sure they were doing things. But just like what you said, it was having that checklist and saying, okay, at the end of the day, where do you need help and how can I help you? Or how do we need to reach out to your teacher, etc. So I think, we're going to come into the school year in August and it looks like it's going to be virtual again. And I think as parents, it's super important to come up with a routine that works. For the older kids, you can give more freedom. You can give them, you can create some sort of boundaries. You can create kind of rules that the kids have to, work towards. If they achieve these things, then you're kind of okay, I can be more hands off. But if they're not, that's when, as a parent, you got to be more hands-on and making sure they're meeting their deadlines, etc. But for the younger kids, it's a whole different story, because you kind of have to you have to be there because they can't work the Zoom calls on their own. I think one of the things parents need to realize, that it's okay if it's not perfect. It's okay if their work is a messy blob of mess. It's theirs, right? As a teacher, I know when a parent has worked really hard on the work of the kids and when it's truly a kid's work. And as a teacher, I'll tell you, I'd rather take the messy sheet because it tells me, oh, this is what they get, this is what they don't understand. So we're not looking for perfection. We're not looking for 100, you have a quiz. We're not looking, I always tell the kids, I don't need you to get it all right. In fact, if you don't know the numbers 2, 5, and whatever, I'd rather you tell me, Miss Young, I don't understand these questions. That way I understand what you're learning, rather than you get the answer and then I find out later on you didn't understand it, right? I think you just have to come up with a clear, kind of like taking away a little bit the dragon mom in us and being okay with the messy work, but knowing that if for the older kids, as long as they're doing what they need to do, they're taking the initiative, then you're good. For the younger kids, they're gonna learn through play. They're gonna learn through mess. So they don't need to be, they don't need to be reading, writing, doing math, science, everything in one day. They can do math here and there, reading here and there, right? So it's coming up with that flexible schedule. What works for families and depending on the age. The second thing I wanted to point out, for me, one of the biggest, toughest things was the emotions. Because from, being able to see family and friends to, oh, I'm sorry, we can't see your grandma today, or you can't have a play date, or that for me was hard as a mom dealing with Mateo, at least, because Eliana, she's baby. All she knew was that mom was home all the time and it was heaven. For Maddie, it was like, I can't go out to the park, I can't bike. Why can't I do that? And so it was having these conversations that gave him some understanding, but also giving him some space to have, he had to let out all these emotions. And that for me was one of the challenges, and just knowing that you can trying to see that transition of, okay, we can't see our friends, but we can still call them on Zoom. It's not perfect, but you still have some sort of connection with everyone. Yeah.
Right. So what I'm trying to see the trend here is like it goes back to going back, sitting down and seeing, okay, this is the situation. How do we change or manipulate the plan so that now it fits into this, like, a lot of uncertainty going on. But I think we touched on schooling so much, and there's a question here I want to get to lang. So it's from Iris, and I know Fiona, hi there, is also has the same concern. How do you set boundaries when working from home? So like Steph has three, Christina has two, and then Christina not only has two, but she probably has a classroom of 15 pa on the other end of the computer. So how do you do this? How do we, even I have a problem sometimes. I'm working, and then my daughter's coming here. So what are your tips for this? How do we set those boundaries working from home?
So for me, at least, what I've done, and it's kind of working, was we've within the space you have, no matter how big or small, but you kind of create a space that is theirs to play with. So
Right.
what I try to do is I put out things. One, you don't want to put all the toys out. You might just want to put one or two, something that will keep them entertained. What for my daughter nowadays, it's noodles. I give her a tub, different colored noodles. You can color the noodles or it's not colored, and she can spend like 30 minutes there scooping and pouring, and there's noodles all over the floor, but she's there. She's keeping herself busy. So I think one really good thing to do is to create a space in your home where the kids it's their space. It's their play space. It's their learning space, but it's their space where they can make a mess and not have to worry right away that I need to clean it up. Two, it's getting that support system. So Eliana's not always going to want to play with this stuff. And sometimes she's going to want to come to me. And that's when, my mom will come in or my husband will come in. So that's where you kind of have to rely on the support system you have, where they can help you take them off your hands, or Ellie has joined all my classes. And just, again, it depends on where you work. If it's something that's acceptable, if you can make it work that they're there beside you, like Ellie's been in my mom's meetings where she's just drawing and my mom's having a conversation and she's there. And it's fine. I think as people, we just have to accept that this is the way it is because we're home, right? And if it works, it works.
Right. Steph, for you, so it's space.
I saw that. Yeah. Okay, one thing I do have to note is I'm really grateful that my company allows me to work from home. And at the same time, the tone from the top in my company, every single time any of our leadership go on video, they're there with their kids. Because it's the new reality, right? So there's a wide acceptance, and they're communicating that, you know what, if your kids pop up in our video conferences, no matter what serious topic we're talking about, it's fine. So then that kind of relaxes you and go, okay, you know what, it doesn't, my backdrop doesn't have to be perfect. If there are cameos randomly, as long as it's not a nude, it's fine. You know what I mean? And then I think what works, this is something that we've had for a while in our home, is a boredom jar. So I have a list of when the kids go, Mommy, I'm bored, or Mommy, I don't know what to do. What do I do? Then on our fridge, there's a what to do when you're bored, and then what to do when you're anxious. So kind of like this links back to pre-planning and go, what are my pain points? Yeah. How can I make it easier for me in the future? Right. So I don't have to think about it anymore because I've pre-thought about it. So then I refer to that, and I'm like, if you want things to be more exciting, then there's a jar. You pick something, and whatever you pick, see if you want to commit to it. Right?
You gotta do it.
And then that's their thing. Or if they have a question to go, oh, Mommy, what's this? What does this mean? And go grab a dictionary or go Google it yourself. Because I don't have to solve every single problem that you have. You have to learn to empower yourself to answer your own questions. And then if you still can't find the answer after doing that, we can connect after my call. So they know my office mates. They know the people around. They know the people I work with. But at the same time, it's similar to what Cristina has said, which is space. It's not just physical space, but emotional, intellectual space to go. You are empowered to explore on your own terms, And the house is, we were trying to build the house as a playground, but you need to respect my space when I have to have these work meetings as well. So it's open conversations. It's giving them toolkits that you can automatically lean on when things are tense, right?
Right. I like that part about having toolkits and really going back to what was planned, what you guys and you know we something changed, so let's reassess the plan, let's reevaluate now, and then seeing which toolkits still we can still use or repurpose, I guess, so that they can adapt to the situation. Now, very quickly, Christina, I know you touched on this as a teacher, but Delphine here asks, how do you know if children really follow or understand correctly the lessons online? So I know you touched on it a bit. So can you clarify for her very very quickly?
For me, the number one thing here is conversations. You have to talk about it. You have to talk to your whatever topic it is. That's where we as parents have to get a little bit invested, where we're going to have to you don't have to memorize and know everything, but you got to know what's going on, what are they discussing. And so when they're telling you something, you can it's listening for understanding rather than listening for answers. So for example, if it's a math problem, instead of just saying, oh, 5 times 5 is 25, you can be like, okay, how do you know 5 times 5 is 25? So looking for their thinking and showing you're not just looking for the answer, but really the thought process that goes into the answer, if that makes sense. Conversations is the way to go. Dinner conversations, put down the gadgets, no technology, and just talk as a family and be like, so what did you learn? Or what was that all about? Or how hard was ever, that's the conversations you should be having during dinner.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So let's take the focus out of like taking care of the kids, and let's look in within like parents. I know this is a challenge for each parent. Like how do you begin even to think of caring for yourself? No. So for you guys, how did that process come about? What's self-care for you? And how did that process come about for you?
I can start.
Yeah.
I can start this. Like I do a lot. I do it. I mean, that's my whole go-to every Saturday morning, where I'm trying to get people to move. Right. So as a Bar3 instructor, for me, movement is medicine, and the more we move, the more we feel good, and that's what works for me. So that's how I self-care. And so for me, it's waking up earlier than my kids, and that waking up, I'm up at 7 or whatever time it is, I wake up earlier so that I can get my work out before they start coming out. And sometimes they come out, sometimes I'm in the middle of a class and I have Ellie crawling on me and it's fine. Sometimes Yaya will get her and it will save me and I'll get to focus. But it's just knowing that you need to give yourself time, whether it's baking, walking, yoga, whatever it is. You have to realize that as a parent, if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to be able to care for your family. And for me, movement is my medicine, and movement is what keeps me going. And it's like it's weird because you're tiring your body out, but I honestly feel more energized afterwards. So the one great thing about this whole experience was that I've been able to dedicate a solid hour every day for myself, where I'm going to work out and I'm going to move, because that's what's keeping me grounded. And it was so different when I had to go to school and the traffic. I mean, this changed the game, right? And so this was one of the decisions I made, that this is what keeps me sane and I'm going to find time to do it. So I think you have to choose what's that magic for you, and then set the time. And again, going back to that saying no. So like saying to my daughter, no, go back to dada, or like, this is me, mama time. And it's okay. You have to respect that you also need the time.
Okay, what about you, Steph?
Echoing that, I actually see self-care as essential part of parenting, because how can you parent if you haven't fed your own spark? Where are you going to parent from? That's going to come from a place of resentment, anger, tension. Every single annoyance will become a big fire. Whereas if you're grounded, if you feel you've fed your soul and you've fed your mind, you've fed your body, then you're coming from a nourished, mature place, where even when everything's messy around you, you can hold your space and go,
Mm.
okay, let's go and solve one by one. You know,
Right,
you have your
right, right.
Zen space.
Yes,
You're
yeah,
carrying that with you, right? So
Uh-huh.
it's essential. It's absolutely must. And no matter how busy we are, we need to create the time for it and commit to the time for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think similar to Christina, the lovely thing about this stay at home is there's less commute. So my mornings, my commute
yeah,
time has turned into my yoga time. And regardless of what
yeah.
the kids have to do at that time, I do it. I do it for me because I feel like I'm a better person if I do it, and I'm a
Mm-hmm.
better parent if I do it. And it also, and part of it is also inspiring the kids because they see me learn and they see me
Mm.
grow. So this
Mm-hmm.
week I'm working on crow. Next week I'm working on headstands. I fall, I fail, I laugh about it. I show them how I self-assess and go, oh, maybe I should have I need to strengthen my arms a bit more or my pose. Oh, I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
doing my hips right. And then they see how I explore the world through
Right.
play, and they will carry that with them as well. They will see that and they will go, oh, okay, in the stuff that I do, if I want to get better at it, I need to learn to self-assess
Mm-hmm.
and and also do what I love to do. Make time to do what I love to do. Those are the kind of things you pass on through just your own actions without having to vocalize them to them,
Right.
right? So,
Right.
so I see self care as absolutely essential. If I could be a champion of anything, it would be that.
So I think what's common here is that you guys both understood, like, as a person, this is what I need. Like Christina, for Christina's movement. I think for Steph it's also about movement also. But it's really understanding and self-assessing, what do I need? And then
Mhm.
creating the time for that. So really deciding, and again, that goes back to the planning, to the planning that happens, and also to the boundaries thing, and committing to that time and saying, I'm sorry, no, go back to your dad first, go to grandma first, it's my time first, but I'll be with you in a bit, that kind of thing. Because I think a lot of parents are scared to do that. They feel like they're rejecting their kid. But in your experience, has that is that correct to think for parents that by doing that it's rejecting them?
Definitely no, no.
No, no,
Take
no.
that away from you. No, no. Take that away. Throw it in the garbage can. Don't ever use that again.
And maybe we can turn it over its head and go, um, you don't have to kind of shoo them away every single
Yeah.
time you're doing self-care. Like for me, self-care
Mm.
is not just yoga. Self-care is
Mm. Mm.
engaging time, like at least 30 minutes, 45 minutes on something I
Right.
want to learn.
Right.
Like I learned ukulele over this break. I was tinkering with my guitar or, reading, and then
Mm-hmm.
go, okay, oh, mommy's reading right now. Would you like to grab your own book and come read in the bed with me? So that's
Mm.
still self-care, but at the same time you're engaging the kids and keep getting them involved in other things that they may not necessarily explore.
Okay.
So yeah, so it doesn't have to be like just you as well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so to me, the definition of self-care is just feeding your own spark. What
Mm.
inspires you? What
Right.
re-energizes you? And you need to have that self-awareness to know what are the things that when I do them, I feel good about myself.
Okay.
And you need to just make time to do that. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
Yeah,
So
I agree. One more, just one quick one.
yeah,
I
yeah,
also
sure.
think that it's kids also need kids. Kids have to realize and learn that they can't always get what they want, right? And so sometimes hearing that no is a good thing, and saying even like, but mama, I want, and I'm like, well, yes, maybe later, but this is my time. And so having that conversation with them and understanding even how young or old they are, it's just knowing that it's respecting that this is my time for me, and whether you want to join me, if you want to work out with me, you want to bake with
Yeah.
me, then you're
Yeah.
welcome to join that. But just like what
Right.
Steph said, this is my time to do what fills me with joy. And if
Right.
you
Right.
want to join, go for it. If not, see you later.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if, instead of saying no, you're not really saying no, but you're saying yes, but then this has to happen first, or my time has to happen first, and it's not really a rejection of anything. Okay, I want to say hi to my wife who's saying hi to everyone. She's downstairs. She has to teach she has to teach a class till this evening. So hello, hello. Okay.
Hi.
Just so one last thing. I mean, I think you guys touched on so many things, but if we wrap it up very quickly, what are the key points here to remember really? When we think of what can enable us, I guess, to practice both self-care and to practice really good to have really good relations with your family and everyone around you. And then for those that are watching us, put in your questions because after this point we'll get to your questions next. Okay, so who wants to start? What enables you to do what you're doing now, and what do you lean in to? Steph,
I
you've
think
been
I'm gonna
volunteered.
crystallize it into clarity. So just be clear what is super important to you at this time, to you as a person and to you as a family, and then
Mhm.
you can that enhances kind of your focus on where you throw your energy at, and
Mhm.
then planning is essential. So the more you can get rid of the daily nuances
Right.
that you can actually shove aside, the more you can
Mm.
create space in the everyday to address the surprises. And then you address the
Yeah.
surprises in a more intelligent and mature way because you've already shoved aside all these little nitty gritty that take energy, So every little
Mm.
decision that we have to make takes
Mm.
energy. So the
Mm.
more we can shove those aside, um, we create that zen inside to go, okay, yeah, come with me, I've got the space for you. um,
Mm.
and then communication, so it's aligning with the family, what do you need, what do I need, and being respectful to each other in that
Right.
communication, giving each other the space as well,
Mhm.
especially since
Mhm.
everyone's at home.
Mhm.
So yeah, if I were to synthesize it into three, I would go there.
Okay. Thanks, Steph. Christina?
I'm piggybacking. So for me, everything Steph said is like on point, right? For me, what's been very important was that flexibility and just knowing that, I like that idea of having a plan, always having something prepared, but also being flexible and open that just like when something comes out of your way, instead of like freaking out or meeting it with anxiety, instead pausing, taking that breath and just being like, okay, throw me this curveball, let's see what we can do with it. I always tell
Mm.
my son, whenever we have a problem, we just have to find a solution. And if the solution doesn't work, then we're gonna have to look for another solution. And it's just having
Right.
that open mind. I guess that's the
Yeah.
second. So flexibility is one, having an open mind is the second.
Right.
Um, there's so much going on in this world right now. And if we harbor it, our hearts, our minds, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes we think the kids don't get it, but they feel it. They feel it from our
Mm.
discussions, they feel it from our
Mm.
body language. And I think we just have to like, that's my third, just kind of know how to let go.
Mm.
Just breathe and kind of,
Mm.
allow you can have these conversations in private, but when
Mm.
you're with your kids, you just want to make sure that you're not sheltering them, but you're also making sure what they're hearing is just right for them, not
Right. Right.
overwhelming them.
Right.
So for me, being open-minded, being flexible, and just
Mm.
breathing it out,
Right.
because the world is a crazy place, but despite it, we're going to get through it. We're going to do what we need to do, and we're going to make the most about it. I mean,
Right.
I'm so lucky that I've seen Ellie every day. Because typically I'd be in school from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and I'd see her after. But
Mm.
because of this whole experience, I'm with her all the time and I'm able to see things that I wouldn't have seen. And so being
Right.
grateful for that instead of just harboring all of that's going on.
Right. And I
Yeah.
guess both of you ladies will agree with me that, we talk about this and it sounds really easy because we're living that life. But then I guess to reassure everyone that's listening now that to get to this place, there was a lot of trial and error and practice along the
Mm,
way, and there are bumps along the way. But
yeah.
then if we persist in that, that's when we get to hopefully you get to your own place that's similar to Steph and Christina. Okay, we have time for some questions. So Chris here is asking us, aside from movie nights, board games, and baking, what other family activities do you recommend people to get into? I guess for those in Manila, kasi I think we're gonna be, who knows, we might be
Oh,
in
yeah.
this like quarantine thing for a little bit longer. So what other things can you suggest?
So I'll take it. I'll answer it in a sense like, let's pretend we can't leave the house and we're still here.
Right, right.
So because as much as I'd love to say, let's go to the beach, let's go out,
Mm,
let's do things, but the reality is we're not sure if we can do that, right? So what can you
mm,
do inside your homes as a family? Read,
yeah.
because when you read, you enter all these different worlds, book after book, chapter book. Even though your kids are super young, you can read them an older book and they you kind of play it out. Do another thing, I mean, going back to movement, right? I love to work out with my kids. So whether cosmic yoga, Mateo loves to do Pokemon yoga where he's doing these poses, but he thinks he's playing Pokemon and it works, right? So reading and movement is something I think that you can do daily and it
Mm,
doesn't feel like a job. It's fun
right,
because you can
right.
change it up. You can play basketball, you can run around the house, play tag, whatever it is. It depends too on what age your kids are. But I think as a family, it's just seeing that even if you're reading, but you're together, that's actually
Mhm.
family time. So
Yeah.
even though you're all in your own little books, doing your own thing, that's
Mm.
still family time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steph,
I feel
some
like
suggestions?
Christina's like my soul sister. Maya. um, I'm echoing those two because I love both as well, books and movement, and I do the same for my family.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I think because I remember I mentioned I have a missions list for the kids.
Mm,
So one of the things is how do you make teaching science fun?
mm,
And that's actually how I got into urban gardening. So I just started growing a whole kind of mini farm in 1 square meter of space, and it's all hydroponic, and it's I'm learning, and at the same time the kids are learning. So we're
mm.
growing kangkong, we're growing kale, we're growing
Right.
mints and whatnot, and then we're learning the science behind it.
Mm,
What do different plants need if they're fruiting, what so
mm.
so that has been really fun and very rewarding because we can harvest the product of our science
Right.
That's cool.
experiments.
Right.
So that's been really fun. And then
Mhm.
the other bit has been going into music. So we dusted off all our musical instruments that we have not touched for the longest time, pulled them out, and just gone, okay, let's see what we can do with this. Maybe we don't remember how to learn it. There are online videos that teach you
Yeah.
how to pick it up again. And then you're learning with the kids as well. And the kids are observing how you learn as well and observing how you explore your curiosities. So
Yeah.
it's really that. Maybe you have a list somewhere of the things. Maybe you can talk to the family about it and go, what are the things we've always wanted to do? And now we have this extra time. How do we
Mm,
invest that time to feed our soul, to feed our spark, right? To make sure we
mm.
shine a little bit brighter every day.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, so everyone has different interests. I'm just sharing a couple of
Right.
mine to add on to
Right.
that. Yeah.
Right. And I guess to add on to what Steph was saying. So for Chris, I think it's good to tune in or give each one a turn to plan out your family time. So like, asking your kids what do you want? That's not this. So parang these are givens. Like you can schedule movie night or board game night, but then there's always you can have a wild card night where someone's on deck to plan what to do and just to try to enjoy that. I think you can get more participation that way. So yeah. Okay, so and that's it for this afternoon, I guess. So if you guys want to announce anything, if you guys want to promote anything, Christina, there, put it back. Christina, anything for you?
Um, if you want to follow Parenting Tribe, the reason why we put Parenting Tribe together was it's just different families. So it's not just me; it's different moms, dads who share what they're doing at home. And so if you're
Yeah.
looking for activities or looking for ideas,
Yeah.
go on to Parenting Tribe, and we just try to find ways to keep everybody busy, keep everyone happy.
Mm.
Yeah, and if you have something to share, send it over to our way, and we also share it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
definitely a site for everyone, because just going back to that idea of a support group, it's
Mm.
not just our family; it's reaching out. And what I love about technology is my support group has gone international, and sometimes these moms don't know me, but their Instagram accounts are my lifesavers.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it's just finding ways to reach out and finding your support groups that will help you. Yeah.
Right. And just to let
Excellent.
everyone know how I got into all this like online parenting stuff is Christina put me on there while I was bathing my daughter. I think I was if so. I mean, get on that Instagram account and bonus points for the one that finds the post where I'm in. Steph, anything for you?
For me, I don't know when I can go and visit Philippines again. But as soon as I can, I'll probably organize some family shoots under Steph Tan
Right,
Photography. So if you
right.
want to follow me there, I'm Steph Tan Photography at Instagram.
Yes, and Steph Tan Photography does excellent, excellent family photos.
Thank you.
Nikki and I, not only do we have family photos, but I think when we were still dating, we had unofficial prenup photos by Steph.
I've been supported by my middle child, Pepper. I
I
think
know, I know, I know. She has her whole crew. Her whole crew is paid with cake, I think. Okay, thanks guys for joining us this afternoon, and for everyone that's watching. For us from Parenting Collective, we have talks like this every Saturday afternoon at around 4. So please join Parenting Collective and follow us for all those talks. And then Ria and I are doing a discipline and consistency talk on Monday. So all the sign up information is on our Facebook page. Please join our Facebook page. I'll have all these details in the slide right before we sign out this afternoon. And let me check if I'm getting everything. I think
Checklist. Check.
yeah. Because we have so many things lined up. Anyway, if I'm missing anything, all our information is on the Parenting Collective's Facebook. You can just go through the events there. All the sign up links are there too. They're messaging me now. Join the Parenting Collective and Parents
You're the
Collective
mom.
Facebook group. Yeah, right there. Thank- okay, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this afternoon. Thank you, Christina and
Thank you, everyone.
Steph, and hope to see you guys in person soon,
Yes.
hopefully. And thank you, everyone, for spending this afternoon with us. And we'll see you next Saturday, in celebration of Father's Day. There, I remember. In celebration of Father's Day, we'll have dad stories for practical parenting next
Oh,
Saturday.
that will be
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. See you
That'll be
guys
fun.
next Saturday. And thanks for joining us. Bye.